Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Aric Mercado, who will be fighting against Robert Kasper on Peak Fighting 39. Hello, Aric. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. You will be fighting in about 8 weeks against the fighter on Peak Fighting. So, if you can tell me, because you had actually a quite long break, it will be a little bit over a year. What was the reason behind this break?
My last fight for Fury, I tore my ACL in the first round and then tried to continue fighting. I kicked him in the inside of the leg and then it just popped. I heard a loud smack and he was doing this weird shuffle every time I kicked him in the legs. And I was like, okay, I know that kind of hurts. So when I kicked him this time, I heard a loud smack and pop and I was like, oh, yeah, that was good. That was a good one. He started to do the leg shuffle thing and then I put my foot back on the mat and I was like, oh, I can't feel my whole entire leg. Like there was no power from my hamstring all the way to my ankle. So I tried to continue to fight through, but Kevin Nix told me if I keep collapsing, because I kept collapsing in the fight, that he'd call it. So I had ACL surgery like a month after that, October 9th, and then I've just been attacking PT. So I finally am back the last 3 months. I've competed a couple at ADCC tournaments to kind of see where it's at in the feel, and I really can push it. I started to kick again, so this fight happened to line up in my hometown. I couldn't pass it up.
And were you a little bit afraid that it can be a longer break longer than 1 year?
Oh, it almost seemed like it. The first 7 to 9 weeks, it was almost like I might be retired. I think I kind of messed up. But then there was a lot more progression after week 9. That was okay, no, it's just literally starting from zero and retraining my leg. But I feel like it's stronger, it's better. I'm back to lifting more than what I was lifting for the Josh Walker fight. So I'm pretty excited.
And finally, you are not fighting super high level prospect, because the list that the fighters that you face is actually quite crazy, because there are really top level on the regional rankings, and most of them, or big part of them, probably will be in the UFC or other big promotions. So if you can tell me, are you happy that this fighter it's not on the same level like the fighters before?
I mean, I feel like me and him have kind of a similar route. I didn't really see so many of his fights. I've seen a couple, but it is nice to where I feel like the matchup is more fair and not favored to the other side. But I mean, I always knew that going into those fights. I knew that I was a no-name kid from a town that wasn't from where the promotion was. I wasn't a high ticket seller for them. So, I mean, there wasn't much for them to really play in other than me fighting really hard. But I really betted on myself a lot of those. The promotion and one of the sponsors that did get me onto the promotion at the time, they promised a lot. They were saying I could change my whole entire life, my family's life, by just getting one more big win. And then they just kept feeding me these monsters, which I mean, I wanted. I wanted to make it to the UFC or one championship. I wanted more than all those other guys. But seeing some of their fights and seeing who they got in a row is kind of different than who I got. But it's okay. I kind of battled through injuries and I didn't say no. That's kind of all on my part. It's not necessarily on management or anything like that. It's mainly just me being dumb and saying yes and thinking I can get it done.
But still, you have on your record Mateus Camilo, who is an absolutely great prospect and he's a monster, or Josh Rosen. You defeated him by a knockout. It was, I believe, your first knockout. So it's not that the great fighters that this group is only the fighters that you lost to, but you also won with this level of fighters.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know I can do it. If I'm healthy and I go through it the proper way and I don't just try to go out there and out dog someone. That was the biggest thing on my last 3 losses is the shot selection. Well, the last loss is kind of my ACL. Once that gave out, it was hard to fight back. But the Abdul Kamara and Justice and Arian, I really feel like my shot selection and my choice selection was horrible on that. If I would have took a little bit more time and like shot selection on the strikes I threw, and then kind of like I wouldn't have got countered as hard. So it was a lot of learning lessons. I'm very thankful for that hard path because it grew me to a level that I didn't think I would get to as fast. But I mean, it's just less gratifying because I don't have the wins behind it. But I do have the lessons, and I feel like I'm going to be able to show it this fight.
But you also have this kind of style that you can be at one point be losing a fight, and still you are able to win the fight in the second or third round. So it means that even if you have some trouble in the beginning, you still can finish the opponent. So I think that because of that you are dangerous in like every round.
I appreciate that. That's what I really wanted to do. Like when I'd watch a UFC at the very beginning with my dad, I remember watching Matt Hughes pick people up and taking them to his brother straight to the corner and then just beating them up. And I was like, dude, I got to learn ground game because if I don't know the ground game, I would hate to just get picked up and smashed. And then that's something you can change. Like if you're out of position and then you get caught with a good shot, like it depends on your chin, if it can hold up, if the weight cut was good, all that plays a factor. On the ground game, it just depends on if you studied enough time on the ground and actually studied those positions, the ins and outs. That's changeable. So
And
I always felt like I needed to be really thorough with the ground game.
against it was Abdul Kamara fight the third round. You were really trying to get the win by triangle.
Oh man, yeah. We talk every now and again, and he tells me all the time if we ever go train again, for me never to triangle him again. He was like, I was hurting for so long, and I was like, well, you could have tapped. I was like, that was an easy solution to that one. But he fought that one. I give him mad props. It really put me on another lesson of where I had to go adjust all my finishing details. That way, no one gets out. That way, if this happens again, like I don't want to have that like almost had it feeling, especially twice because I think the first sub I put on Abdul, I put an armbar on and I went for it and I was like, oh, I got this. And then like I hear a little slight pop and then he like jiggles out and then gets out and I was like, oh my goodness, there's no way. So then I was like, I'm gonna fake the armbar and go triangle and I'll get him for sure. And then I just thought too much in my head. As soon as I popped the triangle, I got it. Now it's like I'm not thinking about anything until the job is done.
And right now, after a few fights in the Fury, you will be fighting in Peak Fighting. And do you have a longer like contract with this promotion, or is it like one fight deal?
Just a one fight deal. They didn't like tie me down to any like contracts or anything like that. So I was pretty happy about that. Just a one fight deal. It's in the hometown. Usually I've had to travel to Tulsa or to Houston for my fights. So that's like 8 to 6 hours away for all my fans or like friends that could come out. So it's really cool to just have this opportunity to do it at Peak. And then it's also at the Amarillo Civic Center. And that's like where all the events have been in like me growing up. So it's super special.
So you will have many fans there, like big audience.
Yeah, I think I should have a good little turnout. I think I'll do pretty good on ticket sales on this one for once.
And what do you think about this fight as the result? Because you are like always going for the finish in on the ground or in the stand up. So in this fight, do you also plan to finish your opponent?
Oh yeah, I want to get back on the finish streak. I want to get back to finishing people and then getting some good highlights out there because I want to try to make it to go fight overseas. I really would love to fight for one championship. To me, that would be super fun for me. You would get that street fighter feel where you'd get on the airplane and fly to their country and then get to fight them. So that's truly what I would want to do. But if the UFC route ever happened, of course, I would gun for it as well.
And one is also interesting in this case that they also have other sports there, so including a grappling competition, and you obviously are a very good grappler. So I think that this promotion can also like put you in some grappling matches.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic if I could do the grappling and do like fighting all through one. Like, oh, I'm pretty jealous of the Rotillo brothers. What they're doing is life changing. It's super cool to see for the younger generation to show that they could do jujitsu, but also show that their jujitsu is real and can go out there and win fights.
And about your jiu-jitsu, like was it a BJJ the first combat sport that you ever trained, or did you start with anything else?
I wrestled in high school. I wrestled with my buddy through kind of grade school, and I would go to club practices with him, and then he'd kind of train me up. I would just kind of show up because we were the same two, or we were the only two like kids around the same age in the trailer park. So we always hung out. And then like his mom was really serious on his wrestling, so we'd be playing video games, and then she'd be like, "All right, 20 snap downs, 20 shots, 20 like defending the takedowns," and I barely even knew how to wrestle. He was the one that wrestled. Then my freshman year, he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna get you to wrestle." Uh, I made the team, and then the varsity over there or would go to invitational onlys, while the JV would go to varsity tournaments. So it would suck. I was a freshman, barely filling out my singlet, like I was skinny, and then I had to go against like juniors and seniors my first year. So like I've always gotten to grapple like harder and bigger opponents. So to me, it's been the easiest like transition once I figured out jujitsu was like, oh, I'm not over when I'm put on my back for 3 seconds. Sick. Like I got to keep going.
Yes, and I think that like fighting from your back is like probably one of the best weapons of yours, because sometimes the even good grapplers, when they are on the like their backs, they are not super dangerous. They are like more of the thinking about going back to their feet, but still they can eat some punches. And you are the guy who is like threat for like most of the time that we are looking for the arm bars, triangles. So I think that this is like something great, and to be honest, not like usually seen right now in MMA.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I studied a lot of Ryan Hall, uh, Charles Oliveira. Like I was watching those guys and I was seeing how they would attack the guard game. Like I saw how systematic Ryan Hall was, but then I saw how free flowing Charles was, and he would just throw up submissions, take you left, take you right, and then it would cause him not to get hit. And my coach was really big, Austin Riggin. He was really big about the clinch in the guard is basically the same thing as a Muay Thai clinch. As long as you can keep your post and keep your legs around their waist, like when you're in the bottom guard, you can still throw elbows, you can still keep good frames, and then you can set up your submissions.
And if you can tell me, what is your like main gym, your current main gym?
My current main gym is Shredders MMA. I own it and operate it with my little brother Dylan Mercado. He's 24, and he's 1 and 2 as an AMI. He had a rough start like on his because we both actually blew out our ACLs, but he's fully recovered. We're about to start getting him back into the ring a little bit more, but he wants me to make one more good run before we all focus down on him.
So how is like the feeling that both of you are doing the same thing, that you are training together, and they are this is like the thing that the kids like to do, the fighting with their siblings, and you can do it on the like high level actually.
Yeah, it's insane. Like when I started and I brought him in, like my little brother was the baby. Like I mean, he got treated all nice, everything. It was really easy life for him. So then when I brought him into this, he was kind of shook and it was a little different. But to see him now as like the 4 stripe brown belt that he is and like the amateur fighter now, I would have never guessed. So it's like the best gift I could say is like seeing him grow up through the sport and becoming who he has. Because I would have never guessed it. I thought he was just going to go to college and then end up leaving, and then I would just try to run this dream by myself. To have him side by side with me is something way cooler. I started with 2 of my best friends, and then they ended up going to a different gym, and then like I stuck around with my coach at this other gym that was like about 15 to 20 minutes away. But me and my little brother were always down to go drive where the harder training was. So the fact that he was always down to do that, we've traveled, done seminars, tournaments, everything. I couldn't imagine doing it without him.
And in your gym, do you also have other fighters like you or your brother, the younger fighters who are prospects, or they have potential to be prospects in MMA?
Yes, I have a couple. I have CJ Casares. He's 3-1 as a lightweight. He just fought for the peak lightweight belt, lost a close decision. I have Jesus Cinceneros. He's 4-2 as an amateur. He's about to fight for the peak belt as well. I got a heavyweight that's about to fight for the peak belt. They loaded us up this one since it's in our hometown. And then I have Jared Gallegos. He's 4-2 as an amateur featherweight, bantamweight. I have a good group. Like once we had the group, we had a group in the grind, and I was teaching the kids class. My head coach was running it, but we didn't own it. There was other owners, and they kind of took advantage of us. And then he ended up having to leave to Tulsa, and he told me to start my own gym. So then I started my own gym, and basically everyone followed because they were pretty shook that none of us were getting paid. So I've been just really blessed with the team and like the gym and everybody that has supported and like came and followed.
So I think that it's also like from your perspective, it's one thing it's being responsible for the gym, but also like being a coach to the younger fighters, especially in the like grappling department, that you are like very like really big specialist. So it can be like also useful for you, I believe, that being a teacher, being a coach.
Oh yeah, coaching has been like such a great thing. It levels you up so much. Just because like if you can retain 70% of it, that means you can teach it back. And then every time you teach it, you get like 1% or like a couple percent better each time. So I feel like it's only leveled me up even more and made me really think about what I do, how I do it, when I do it.
And when you are thinking about your style, about your MMA game, what do you think is the one area that you have to be most focused on to train to be better in?
To be better in, I've been really doubling down on my hands on boxing and then really focusing on my Muay Thai, really focusing on where I tire these guys out, and it's in the clinch and then getting into the clinch. And then once I can drag them into the clinch, there's not a lot of people that can pummel back and forth with me or wanting to go into those deep waters like that. So I think it's just like really utilizing what I'm really good at on the feet and then learning to tie it back into the jujitsu at the same time.
And actually, I think that your Muay Thai, your knees, your clinch is quite good. We can see in a few of your fights that it's actually a dangerous weapon of yours.
Yes, I've. It's one of the best weapons in my mind. Your knees and your elbows. It causes them big damage, and you less damage. It's very hard to break your elbow or your knee. And then it for me, like I'm a jujitsu guy, so if I knee them and they catch my knee and they take me down, it's not too bad for me. If I kick them real hard, they catch the kick, it's not too bad for me. I feel like for the other Muay Thai guys, it's kind of bad. Uh, I kind of like love that I could double down into it just because I'm not scared to be put on my back. But I think avoiding being on my back a little bit more will be a big implement. Like I won't be as easy to go on my back unless I see the finish right away.
And I believe that I saw on your Instagram that you had a boxing bout scheduled in last year, right?
Yeah, this unfortunately that got canceled. There was like 4 or 5 fighters that didn't have their blood work in time and just very unprofessional. That was going to be in my hometown as well, but then it just had to get postponed, and then I had the fight afterwards, and then I blew my ACL, and then I couldn't go do that one again.
So about this boxing bout, would you be interested in doing this one or two times, even after the first fight didn't actually happen?
Yeah, like I've been down to do a boxing bout. Like we were gonna do a Muay Thai bout, but then they thought I'd get too hurt before the MMA bout. So rather between boxing or a couple Muay Thai bouts, I'd like to do. Also, that way, if I could make it out to one, it would kind of play a little bit higher over there that I would do jujitsu, Muay Thai, and MMA.
And if the like two offers would be on the table, UFC and one, and let's say that your purse on the money on the table would be the same, what the offer would you be mostly interested in?
Probably one. I would want to go see the world. To go over to Singapore and all those other places would be so crazy cool. And to hopefully maybe like get to train in Thailand, that'd be really fun.
Is that many like top level guys are training in Thailand, so like outside of US it's probably the best place to be in the world actually, because there are so many great gyms. You can learn a lot, and it's like not like big money to spend there actually.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard it's pretty good, pretty good living over there.
And if you can pick one fighter from a bantamweight division for like a dream fight that you can make you against somebody, what fighter would you like to face?
Oof. From bantamweight, that would be fun and challenging one would probably be like Peter Yan, like a Peter Yan or like a Corey Sandhagen or a John O'Malley, like stand up, but they're like a lot of people sleep on. They're
I actually thought that maybe you against Marlon Vera would be a good fight because he's of course like a great striker, but he likes also he's a tricky on the ground, and it would
oh
be a
yeah,
Chicho against Chito bout.
yeah. Chicho versus Cheeto would be an exciting one. That'd be a dogfight for sure. I don't think either one of us would back down. It'd be pretty crazy.
And right now, of course, you because that the fact that you are fighting against top level guys, you are on the losing streak. But would you be interested right now after this fight to build a winning streak and fighting maybe not weak fighters, but the fighters on the little bit lower level, just to win
Oh,
few in the row, or you would like to be back in this kind of situation like before that you are fighting the top monsters?
I kind of like to be put back in the fire. I'm gonna let my little brother kind of handle a little bit more of the decision making this time. Let him really do more of the thought process. Let him do a little bit more of the talking management. Because if it's me, I've always bet on myself. I'll double down. Like I'm always down. Like, and I'd rather be thrown into the fire than get some of these pick me ones. I want something that's gonna get me scared. Something that's gonna wake me up every day to go train, like to go run, like to know that I have to hit, to know that I have to get my reps in. Like if it's someone that I feel like I can just beat, like it's not fun for me. Like I'm really in this as to be a martial artist and to have the greatest challenge and to beat the greatest challenge.
So probably in a few years when you will be watching a UFC card, you can say like I fought against this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah, like I mean, I could say I went toe to toe with him, did my best, and not really like try to cherry pick. Like I want to know. I don't want to leave no what ifs.
And for you, what is the what do you prefer to train right now? Like BJJ grappling, gi or no gi, or MMA? What is like the most fun?
The most fun, probably the gi, just because I don't get punched, I don't get kicked, I don't get like, and then there's just tons of stuff that I get to mess around and do, like and have fun. Like I totally get to take all the stress out of my mind. Because even when I started doing jujitsu, like the gi was always fun to me because my main goal was MMA. So it was like, and plus the gi is so complicated. I honestly hated it all the way up until purple belt, like brown belt. Like I was like, get this thing off me. Like it's only good for teaching, and then I saw like the real aspects of the training and everything, and it helped out a lot. Like, and now I couldn't be more thankful for it.
And are you a fan of watching grappling bouts, gi or no gi?
Yeah, I really do like watching grappling bouts, and it just depends on who it is. It doesn't really matter gi or no gi, but if they're an exciting grappler, like I'm gonna watch it. Like of course the Rotillo brothers, I'm gonna watch either one of them anytime. I do like the Rodriguez brothers. Jay and Nikki Rod, they're exciting to watch. Uh, there's Gabriel Mateus, he's fun to watch as well. There's a bunch of them, but I do go down the rabbit hole. But lately, I've been on a Muay Thai kick. I've been having fun watching a bunch of Muay Thai fights the last 2 to 3 months and watching a lot of diesel noise.
So maybe actually the Thailand would be perfect for you in just few months or years, just to go there, train Muay Thai and try to get some fights.
Oh yeah, I would love to do it. To go over there, fight over there as well. It would be unreal.
And outside of MMA, when you have a more free time, what do you like to do then? You are like more of the like book reader, like do you like watch movies, listen to podcasts?
Uh, just listening to music, kind of hanging out outside. I'll play fetch with my dog, go walk him. I have a pretty big German Shepherd. He's a big cuddly guy, so love having him around and just hanging out with the fiance and just like enjoying life, just enjoying moments.
Yes, this is probably super important to do. And if you can if you are like before your fight, when you are like stressed or you do or you have some nerves before the fight, like few hours to the fight, what do you do, what do you do to like escape this kind of stress? Do you like to listen to music, like try to do something else, maybe some breathing techniques?
Uh, Not too much breathing techniques. I really just kind of like go back to myself and remember like 10 years ago, like no one was really betting on me to be an MMA fighter or to even own a gym or anything like that. Like the how far I've came, and then just remembering that nobody has more fun than I do out there. Like I really enjoy being in the cage. I really enjoy the firefight. Like I don't think a lot of people do. Like when I smile in there, it's genuine. It's pretty hilarious. I can't explain it either. Like because when I watch myself fight and like I get hit hard and I'm like, why are you smiling, dude? Like you got to change that. Like so I think it's just really if I remember that I have the most fun, I have my best performances. Really, the last 3 to 4 performances, I put too much pressure of like where this is gonna take me, what it will do for me, instead of just having fun out there and putting it all together.
Okay, Arik, so many thanks for the conversation. I'm really I'm really interested in your next fight, and I hope that you will build some winning streak and also the fighting the better fighters, because your next fighter maybe is not the best guy, but he also like is a finisher, so he probably will present some dangers. But I hope that but I hope that you will win this and you will win some more fights against like higher level competition. Your next fights will be a little bit on the level that you had the fights before.
I appreciate that. Much love, and I definitely want to get there too. I plan on getting there. I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm training so hard. Like I'm running, I'm swimming, I'm lifting, and then I'm doing everything and anything to make sure that I'm ready.